early doors would be John Westcott after he'd finished work.
Just to top up a bit.
Just to top up a bit here, right? And then
Twink, he was called.
Twink, yeah. Karen's father.
Yes.
And
Lovely bloke.
Yeah, and then Will Westcott would come up a bit later.
Yeah.
Because he was banned at one stage by Bess, but he came in when I got the pub. He came back again.
What was he banned for?
Oh, just for being Will Westcott. And also, what happened one day was, one Sunday he was up here, drinking away like hell, and there was a knock on the door, and Sheila came in with his dinner, and said, "If you can't eat it down our bloody house, you can eat it here," and dapped it down. Will looked at her. He said, "Have you brought a knife and fork, mate?"
Oh dear. And there was another marvellous episode in Will's life when he wasn't allowed to drink beer, I think.
Yeah, he went to Scotch.
So he went to Scotch instead and drank gallons of Scotch.
Any amount of it.
Yeah, honestly, wonderful.
Why wasn't he allowed to drink beer?
Because of the alcohol, I imagine. It wasn't doing him any good.
And I expect Sheila put her foot down and said,
so
"I don't want you drinking beer up there all the time."
Then he turned to Scotch in a big way.
Yeah, but he said, "I'm not drinking beer."
No, that's right. It was good fun though, wasn't it, really?
Because they were constants.
Yes, yeah.
And Jim Bomber used to come up and clean the pipes every Sunday.
Yes.
And
Bomber.
you had to send through a little sponge particle that went through the pipes, cleaning them, and then you put water through, and then you put the beer through, and it would come out the pump. And Jim was responsible for saying whether the beer that came out was full strength or still watered. It took him about 3.5 pints
to test it out, yes.
And I was giving it away, but it was still laughable, wasn't it?
It was lovely, really.
Stan Moore.
Yeah, Stan Moore, yes.
He died in the bar.
Yeah.
He fell down during a darts match, and Anthea and I were commissioned to go down and tell Gertie, his missus, that he died. And we went down there, and she said, "Oh dear," she said, "I've just got to go upstairs." And we followed her, and she was looking under the mattress to see if there's any money there. True.
And then, of course, tell them about they wanted to carry on the match.
Oh, well, Kings Nympton were playing George Nympton at darts, right? And Stan Moore was playing for George Nympton. Yeah. And it was 4-3 at the time to Kings Nympton, right? No, it was 4-all, and Stan was playing the deciding leg. And Bess Constable said, as he died, he didn't finish his leg, and therefore the match should be forfeited to Kings Nympton. But on the other hand, Bess was over there playing the one-armed bandit in cahoots with Stan. They were in syndicate. And she won the jackpot, £5. But as Stan died, she said he reckoned he pulled out of the syndicate and she could keep all the money.
Oh dear, wonderful.
He always wore 2 pairs of trousers.
Marvellous.
Stan Moore. And then there was Ken Avery, as we know.
Ken, and of course, Fred.
Well, as you say, it's difficult to talk about Fred with any candour because his son John is still living in the village.
And absolutely, you wouldn't want to hurt him.
From now on, we shall call him Mr. X.
Mr. X.
Right?
he was a past master at getting
drinks,
very low price drinks. You might even say free drinks.
Yes. Yeah. Him and Ken used to vie with each other. Yeah. When we walked into the pub, Ken would be standing over there, and Fred would be on the stool in the corner here, right? The one that's finally gone now, I think. And they would sit there, and if anybody new to the village came
in through the door,
they'd come in, and one of them would say, "You new here then? Were you on holiday?" And they'd say, "Yes." He said, "Well, a lovely place. Come up, you can stand by me if you like, we can have a tell." And then they would buy a drink, and Fred would then put down his finished pint. Exactly, to coincide exactly. And they'd say, "Would you like one?" "Oh, that's very kind of you, thank you very much, I will out of that." And Ken would be going, "Hmm." And so Ken would then make his move to try and pull him towards him.
And of course, Ken used to say to people, "Now, can you speak Swahili?"
Yeah.
Because he was in...
Jumbo Bwana, Nakima. Because he was
in the sort of South African Rifles or something, the East African.
And if that didn't elicit any response, he'd get nearer to them. And in the end, they were almost forced to buy him one. But then by then, Fred would be a bit pissed off because his pint was finished off. And then somebody else would come in. And I've known Fred and Ken up here for weeks.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a great triumph if they ever bought you a pint. I think he bought you one.
Bought me one,
And
yes.
he bought me one too,
yes,
Fred
yes.
did.
Yes, I was very proud of that, really.
I was about 950 pints down now.
Yes. Oh dear. And well, it was.
Oh, I tell you what, Jim Medland from the park
Yes.
always used to come up for a drink, but never went inside. He'd always stand there by the garage door every night with his pint, wouldn't he? A couple of pints.
That's right.
He'd never go in.
Funny.
I think his mother told him never to go into a pub. So
Charlotte, his mother, was put into service when she was 12 years old in Oakhampton, but she was always friendly with Dandy,
yeah, our
our
grandmother.
grandmother and grandfather, and they were minding their own business one day up at Huxford Farm, and suddenly Charlotte appeared. She walked all the way from Oakhampton at the age of 12 or 13. She didn't like it there being a service, and she came across to Huxford, and she helped bring up me and Roland.
She stayed with us till she was 82,
Yeah,
83.
till she died, yeah. But
Yeah.
can you imagine it? 12 years old.
And Colin Medland, I don't know if you know Colin.
I do, yeah.
Well, Colin Medland is her grandson.
That's right.
Ashley Morey won the Northover competition in Chumley.
Oh, in the home
It
guard.
was like a bazooka, yeah?
Yeah.
And he was in there, and they had the Northover competition down the bottom of Chumley Hill, and they painted on a big rock a German tank.
That's it.
And Ashley was there, Fred said, I was there myself, I've seen it, I can vouch for it, he said. Ashley had the thing like that, and he moved to one side and accidentally let it off. He shot the German tank right smack in the middle. He said he won first prize.
Yeah.
And Ashley, that was his main contribution to the war effort. But I also remember there was a doctor, remember the doctor who lived in your house now, the
Yeah.
B&B, what was he called, doctor? Nice doctor.
Yes,
He was an alcoholic.
he was.
And his lovely wife.
That's right. He wasn't the one who left bottles of.
Yes, he was.
yes.
He used to leave them in the hedge,
That's
especially
right,
round
yes,
there.
yes.
And Mr. X would follow him round and take out the bottles after he put them away.
That's right. Now, what about old Don Almond?
Now Don,
Yes.
he was in,
Like
come
the
from
Jubilee-
Southmont.
No, not who came from the Jubilee then?
Oh no, that was the long-haired bloke with his missus who sold awful things.
Oh yeah, all right, yes.
I don't want to talk about
Don't
it.
talk about that.
No, because he sold a picture of the Virgin Mary once, a statue, and from one side it looked like the Virgin Mary,
No, well,
and if you
yeah.
twisted it, you'd never seen anything like it.
No. Now let's go back to
Yeah.
what's he called? Not
You
Don.
would have worn your dog collar because I'd have had more respect for you today. But